Alright students, let's get started on our lesson 2.3, building the perfect square. So as you know, Optima, she is building the quilt and she started with the original function, which is x squared. So she started making the quilts with x squared area. If it is x squared, that means one of the side is x and the other side is x. So when the sides are x and x, then the area will be x squared. And this is how she started. But now she is getting a little adventurous. So let's see how it goes. So she's saying Optima added 3 inches to the sides of the square. So if the square side is x, then she added 3 to that. So now it will be x plus 3. The other side will also be x plus 3. So when she is doing that, then how do we calculate the area? So we can make the box and figure it out. So how we will write it down is the area function ax will be the side is x plus 3, and now that you are multiplying both of them, so you can do x plus 3 and square of that. So when you try to multiply and figure out the area, so that will be x times x, so x squared. This will be 3 times x, so 3x. This will also be 3 times x, so 3x. And then this will be 3 times 3, so 9. Now you can add these two, so that will give you 6. So it will become ax will be x squared plus 6x plus 9. Now it is saying in the second one that she draws a pattern for the square in problem number 1. So she figured out the area, but now she is making a pattern with the same area. So this side, this is x. Instead of writing it combined 3, she's splitting it up as 1, 1, and 1. On this side also she has x, and then instead of doing plus 3, she is adding 1, 1, and 1. And then she's figuring out the area, so this will become x squared. 1 times x, so this is x tile, x tile, x tile. This is x tile, x tile, and x. These are all ones tiles, so here we are. Now if you put it together, if you add your x's, so with the area model, we can get x squared, and then 3 here and 3 here, so 6x. And then these are 9 of them, so 9. So these, what we counted right now, these are the tiles, or we can also call them the pieces. So these are the tiles or the pieces that we counted, and we got this area. Okay. Here we wrote down the same thing, but we wrote it down in the form of sides dimensions, because we said she's adding the 3 tiles to the sides. So this is when you use the sides to express the area. This is when you calculate and count all the tiles or pieces. Now it is saying in both of the diagrams and equations, x plus 3 and square of that, why is this same as x squared plus 6x plus 9? So why it is, it's because if you are saying x plus 3 times x plus 3 or x plus 3 and square of that, then in that case, so if you are saying x plus 3 and square of that, that means you are using the sides or the side dimensions, and if you are saying ax equals x square plus 6x plus 9, then in that case you are talking about the area that we came up with the pieces or the tiles. So when you count the pieces or the tiles, then we are talking about the same area. So if you talk about the sides, then it's this. When you're talking about the inside area and you count all the tiles that you have, how many ones tiles you have, how many x tiles you have, how many x squared tiles you have, then you will be getting the x squared plus 6x plus 9 area. So now her business is growing, so she is getting requests from the customers, and they are telling her what is the side length of their quilt, and then she makes the pattern for them and she gives it back to them. So if she gets the request of one side x plus 2, then we will be having x. So she again will make the pattern because there are two of them. So you will be having 1 and 1. And then here also we will have the same because these are the square tiles, square quilts. So you will have 1 here and 1 here. And then we will count how many different tiles we have. So here we will have x squared. Here we will have x tile, x. These are all x tiles and these are 1 tiles. So you will be getting x squared. Then these are 4 of them. So 4x. And then these are 4 of them. Okay. Now let's figure out what's happening in this one. Here the customer requested the quilt with the side length x plus 1. So again she made the pattern and she came up with just one side, so and then x, so x plus 1 and then x and then plus 1. This will become x squared. This is x tile and 1. Now if we put it together, so these will be 2x's, so x squared plus 2x plus 1. Okay. So this is how she is making patterns. And then in the next one, it is saying what pattern do you notice when you relate the diagrams to the two expressions for the area. So what I am noticing is this, the 4x is coming when we are adding this 2. That means this 4x we are splitting in half. So you get 2x and 2x. You put one of the 2x's here and the other one goes here. And then this 4 is nothing but, if this is 2 and 2, then you do 2 times 2 and you get 4. Okay. Here you get 1 times 1, so you get 1. And then because you have 2x, so you are splitting it in half, so you get x and x. So you put one of the half here and the other half here. So that's what I'm noticing. Now in this equation, how I will say that, so this is same as x squared plus 4x. Instead of saying 4x, I will say I am splitting into half. So I'll say 2 times x. because then I will split 2x here and 2x here. And then instead of saying 4, I will say 2 times 2 because that gave me 4. So 2, instead of saying that, I will say this is the squared. Instead of saying 2 times 2, I'll say 2 squared. Then here, I will say x plus 1 and square of that. And again, my x squared is just the way it is. Here I said I will split it into half. So how will I say that in math? I'll say 2 times, now it is just 1, okay, and then x. And then this is this 1 here. And then when you do 1 times 1, you get 1. So instead of saying 1 times 1, I can say square of 1, okay. So this is a pattern that's happening here. Now let's find out what's happening with Optima. So she has a little dog, and that chews up the quills on the sides. So instead of having the whole x squared plus 4x plus something, the dog chewed up the tile on the side. Now what she will do is she will remake it. So let's do that. So we will do, so this is our x squared tile. So this is x squared. Now these are 4x tiles. So remember we said we split it into halves. So 2x and 2x. One of the 2x will go here and one will go here. So we will say x and x and x and x. So that will help us to figure out what will go here. So now you can say there are 4 of them. So here you had 1 and 1, x, 1 and 1. So together they made it 4, so plus 4. So this is what was the missing part that we figured out will be plus 4. Let's do next one. And here we have 6. So we will be splitting it into 2. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. So 3x and 3x. So then we will be making the quilt with x squared. So this is your x. Now these are 3 x's. So you will have 3 of them. Here you will have 3 of them. This is x. So this will be 3x tiles on each side, and then you will have all these ones. So if you count them together, then there are 9 of them, which is, you can also say 3 times 3 will give you 9. So there's so many patterns happening in this one. Okay, let's do next one. And in this one we will have 8 of them, so you will split it into 4 and 4. So you will be having x squared and then 4 of them on this side and then 4 of them this side. So you will have 4, so you will have 4 x's, so you split. So together they are 4 and 4, so these should be 16 of them. If you count, they are 16, so plus 16. Okay, let's do this one. Instead of making tile, let's figure it out mathematically. So you will be splitting it into 6x and 6x. So then this here will be 6 times 6, so 36. So 36 is what is missing in this one. Okay. Now it is asking what is the connection between the B and the C here. So what we figured out is if we split B in half, so we can say B divided by 2, And then if you do b divided by 2, so whatever number you get, if you multiply that to itself, that gives you c. Okay, because we did 4 times 4 and we got 16. We did 6 times 6 and we got 36. So we split your b by half, and then you multiply it to itself. So the number that you get is nothing but the c. Okay. Now, will it work for the negative? Yes, it will. It's just that x's will be negative, and the c will always be positive. Okay. So we will get negative x's, but c is always positive. Okay. Now this one, will it work for odd numbers? Yes. It's just that we can always divide the odd numbers in halves. It's just that we get the answer as a fraction. Okay. And that's the lesson.